Once upon a time, there was a little boy called Howard who loved writing stories.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, worst writer in the world. 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 He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer.
Welcome to The Worst Writer in the World, and it's episode 2 of George Spooner and the Woman Who Loved a Horse.
Hooray!
So far in the story, we have met George Spooner, who is a rich guy who's new money, right? We know that about him.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of time on his hands. Is that you trying to say that he's the parvenu with an out stew?
I'm trying to say, I was trying to not use that. I mean, yeah, what I'm trying to say is that he's new money with a lot of time on his hands, as you said, or to put it in other words, it's a parvenu with an out to do, right?
Yeah.
So the way he fills his time, rather than have experiences with all his money or buy things or do anything legal, what he's chosen to do is stalk people, right?
Yeah.
Is stalk people based on their choice of clothing colours.
Yes.
Because they have to be wearing white. His deal is they have to be wearing white, and if you see someone wearing more white, then he has to give up stalking person A and switch over to person B.
Well,
and there's no other criteria, right?
Yeah, there should be. You could argue he's not really stalking people, but he's stalking clothes, and that's not illegal. Right? No law against that.
Okay, everybody. Maybe you listened to episode 1 and you were like, oh my God, that's disturbing.
Yeah.
But what you didn't understand was that George Spooner just stalking a shirt.
George Spooner, what do you say to these accusations? I was just following her skirt, Your Honour. I had no interest in the meat within it.
For a moment you were getting away with it, George, but then you made it sound disturbing again by using words like skirt and meat in the same sentence. So anyway, what we heard in part 1 was George Spooner stalking someone to the ferry. To the ferry.
The ferry, yes, because it goes to France, so it's called a ferry. Yeah.
I was thinking Calais, you see. I was about to say ferry to Calais, and I got a bit ahead of myself and just kind of portmanteaued the two words together.
Fair enough.
He got to the ferry to Calais, but he hasn't got on it yet because he spent quite a long time saying goodbye to the cabbie. Right?
We'd made fast friends, yeah.
And so that's where we are. We're halfway through George saying goodbye to the cabbie. And having furnished me with his card, and my having promised to call him before any other cabbie should I need one, we said our final farewells, and I boarded the vessel for Calais. So yeah, I mean, phoning for a taxi, a specific taxi, means mobile phones, right? That's the only way you can do that. So this feels like this is an example of what you said. You haven't yet actually set this in the past. Des Dawes sounds like a very modern name as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All the way I had kept sight of my rabbit.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, it is weird, isn't it?
Ooh, what a lovely bunny.
Like chasing a rabbit, that's what predators do. And that, which is what he is. So that is accurate. But most of them aren't so open about it, Yeah. So all the way I had kept sight of my rabbit, and after a momentary lapse in the car park, I soon found her on the top deck, gazing dreamily at the gulls as they argued over a banana skin. The top deck of what? The top deck of the car park? Is that what you mean?
The ferry to Calais.
Oh, okay. They're
Car
on the
park.
ferry.
Yeah,
Oh, yes. Oh, sorry. Yes, I boarded the
Car
vessel for
park's
Calais.
pretty
Yes.
modern, I suppose, as well, isn't it? A car park.
It was unusual, I thought, for a lady to be so purposefully dressed and yet to be travelling alone. Now it feels like it's set in the 1930s again.
Yeah.
I had expected a fiancé or secret lover, or at the very least a doting old aunt. But so far it seemed she was very much solus irae.
Ooh, travelling alone.
When the ferry had left and the shore was very much a distant memory, my rabbit made her way to the bar and ordered herself a vodka martini.
Can rabbits do that? Can rabbits go to bars and order drinks? Could put a carrot in it, she said.
Have you got a lettuce? Could you put a lettuce in there?
Yeah.
Thank you. So yes, she made her way to the bar and ordered herself a vodka martini, which she took to a dark corner and nursed. put bandages on it.
Yeah.
I got myself a gin and lime, a small beer, and a cigar. I got myself 2 drinks and a cigar.
He's fucking been getting pissed all the way here, following this woman. And I bet he's been less and less fucking subtle about it by this point.
Yes, absolutely. Well, he's on a boat, following her around the boat, sitting at a bar, staring at her. She knows. And sat at the bar, reading a free newspaper and glancing over occasionally to see if anyone had joined her. I also ventured into a bag of scratchings. I ventured into a bag of scratchings and had an adventure in there. Pork scratchings are basically like fried pig skin. Is that what they are? And fat.
Yeah,
I mean,
skin and fat. Yeah.
there's something that you buy like a small bag of crisps kind of thing, but it's pig skin and fat and you get them in bars quite popularly in this country because when you get drunk, suddenly they're nice. And you're not so disturbed by picking, all the pig hairs out of your teeth afterwards.
The pig hairs.
Yeah, I mean, that is a part of it. And also, when you bite into them sometimes and just there's an explosion of liquid fat that's kind of hidden away inside. They are incredibly tasty, but also disgusting. Like so much British food.
My God.
I also ventured into a bag of scratchings. Let it not be said that George Spooner drinks on an empty stomach. Let no man say that George Spooner gets completely rat-arsed in the back of a taxi without having a bag of scratchings first. My mother is a lenient woman, but she would not approve. The rabbit did not look as though she were expecting company. But nevertheless, a ferry is the type of place one expects chances to congregate in hopes of joining the Naval Club, as I believe it is called, a trend that has recently bucked the Auto Club on account of an article in the Times which had implied that being close to the water and the dizzying aspect of the rocking increased pleasure at climax. I don't know why I had eyed the article beyond the headline.
I mean, the Times has really gone downhill.
It really has. I mean, it is an awful paper, but not usually in that way. That seems more like the Star, right? That kind of article.
Yeah, actually, it's gone uphill then, hasn't it? So actually, the Times used to be really good because they used to write about how people are now congregating on boats and fucking there because they think that the movement of the waves makes the orgasm
makes
more pleasurable.
Makes the sex better.
Now they're saying things like vote for Liz Truss. Probably, I don't know. I don't read it, but
no, you're right. That is worse. That is worse. Time passed idly, she occasionally sipping at her cocktail, myself some beer with no events to report. But at approximately 9:03 or 9:08, dependent on whether I were to believe my watch or the clock, a porter entered calling a name. And thus it was that I came to know a lot more about my rabbit than a second earlier.
ooh,
All right, so there's finally some dialogue here, and it's said by a Napoleon-esque chap. So, Miss Darlin Eversham, message for Miss Darlin Eversham.
her name's Darling.
Her name's Darling Eversham,
Wow.
hyphenated.
Oh, that's her surname. Okay.
Yeah, oh yes, it's not. She's not called Darling. That would be. I mean, it's ridiculous anyway. But if her name's hello, my name's Darling Eversham. Yeah, that would be a bit much. The rabbit raised her hand, and the message was delivered.
Ooh.
Miss Darling Eversham, I thought. Well, tickle my ribs and pass me a hanky. That's what I wrote next.
What does that
Well,
mean?
tickle my ribs and pass me a hanky.
Why do you need a hanky after you've had your ribs tickled?
There was no doubt about it. This was the same Mary Darling Eversham who had caused such a furore at the Ascot meet on Saturday.
Ooh.
So he knows her name. He's accidentally followed someone that he's familiar with by reputation, I suppose.
Yes.
Miss Mary Darling Evesham was known to me for 2 reasons.
Oh.
Infamously, her ancestors, although how much truth there is in the story I cannot say, her grandparents, the Earl and Duchess of Granthambie, lived in the dry heat of India and, consequently, was said to be so lethargic that rather than risk break a sweat during coitus, they employed people to lift and move them accordingly.
Yes. That's the only way to have sex, I think.
Would you like to have sex this evening, Duchess, my sweetheart? Oh, yes, please. I'll get the servants.
I'll get the forklift truck.
That is a good line. I mean, especially because it's expressed, because it's reported as a rumor rather than truth. That makes it like if you presented that as truth, it'd be a bit like, okay, that's a bit weird. But that's the sort of rumor you actually expect to hear. You know, someone's made that up or whatever, but everyone really liked it, and so it really made the rounds. And then this narrator believes it, because, which is also some character building for him. So I like that.
Hooray!
Hey, I like a lot about this story. Not so much the stalking, but everything else has been a lot of fun. Such a rumour family history is rather unfortunate for a pretty thing like this to be burdened with. What a lot of words I put in that sentence. In what a strange order.
Surprise!
Such a rumour family history is a rather unfortunate for Such a rumour family history is a rather unfortunate for a pretty thing like this to be burdened with.
Come on, Rufus, put the missing words in like you normally do.
I can't work out what they should be.
Yeah.
Such a rumour existing in one's family history is a rather unfortunate situation for a pretty thing like this to be burdened with.
I think I miss even more words than normal when I'm just kind of like going for it.
And I feel certain that those tiny fists of hers had dealt a few retributional blows at her time in Rodine to any girl who openly mocked her. But it paled into insignificance to more recent events.
But those tiny hands would make my penis look really big.
Henry's penis. Mary Darling Evesham. Mary Darling Evesham had been, and perhaps still is, engaged to marry Lord Bruff.
Ooh.
Yes, Lord Bruff.
Hello, it's me, Lord Bruff. Comedy story. What am I doing in this story? Being a lord, isn't I? Isn't I? Being a lord.
Even today, families of ancestral distinction insist on their offspring marrying within the fold. I was a parvenu, and whilst welcome at their parties when bringing a cheque for the latest cause, no one would have dreamed of letting their little darling dance down the aisle with the son of a forklift truck operator. So it had naturally not gone down well when she disappeared during the meet on Saturday and had been found by her worried mother, in the stables red-faced and in flagrante, presumably with a jockey. To throw your flower to a common man is bad enough. To throw your flower to a common man is bad enough, but to risk getting knocked up with a short baby is inexcusable. Because he's a jockey, right?
Yeah.
Again, I mean, I feel there's a lot of good character work in this writing. I feel like I am learning a lot about this man, and not just that he's a terrifying predator. Clearly, that's one of the main and most significant things, but also a lot of little details as well, like about his outlook and opinions on the world.
Yes.
And they're in keeping with that because they're largely not good, not commendable. I'm getting the idea he's not meant to be an admirable character. So, word had spread like butter on a hot day. Brackets or microwave. Which you've crossed out because this is probably for the same reason as forklift truck. But I'm just trying to work out what your thinking is. Were you going to say, word had spread like butter on a microwave? Is that what your plan was?
I don't know. I think now you mention it, I think back to a time when the butter was left on top of the microwave and it melted and I was this microwave might be dangerous.
Electronics often get hot though just by using them, right? You could put butter on top of the fridge and it could melt because fridges can get hot on the outside.
That's right, because I can be hot on the inside and cold on the outside, can't I?
Yeah.
But I know that I can be the other way round. I think if I was cold on the inside, I'd just be dead. Oh yeah, I could be dead and on fire.
If you were dead, I was about to say that. If you were dead and on fire, then at least for a time, you could be cold on the inside and hot on the outside. Yeah. But you do need to be dead and on fire.
Yeah.
All right, so, well, word had spread like butter on a hot day, brackets or microwave, and soon the entire circle was awash with stories of young Miss Darling Evesham, each with increasing ludicrousness. One I heard even suggesting it was the horse she was in love with. This last story, however, may have been mooted after her dramatic exit. After word was out, a delay was inevitable. As anybody who is a nosy bugger, which is everybody. After word was out, a delay was inevitable. As anybody who is a nosy bugger, which is everybody, left the circle in search of the real drama and gravitated towards the stables, where, sure enough, raised voices were very much on the cards. What was said is anyone's guess. I personally was not too near the action. But what I can tell you is that not 5 minutes later, the horse in question... We're talking about the fucking horse. I thought we'd moved on from the horse, but no, we're still talking about the horse. And the horse in question, which, by the way, its name was A Bit on the Side, came crashing out of the stables, Mary on her back, and off they went together.
Oh, wow.
And unless the jockey in question was so small as to be invisible, it was pretty fair to say she had just eloped with a horse.
So it was a horse then?
Well, according to this guy, yeah. Some claimed they had seen the jockey sat before her holding the reins. But I also heard from others that he was in the first aid tent receiving attention for the broken nose Lord Bruff had delivered him. I brought you a broken nose. Where shall I put it? On the sideboard? Yes, okay, bye, thank you.
Oh, I put it on your head, it's very heavy. Oh, dear.
So this jockey's in a tent, and Lord Bruff turned up in his UPS van and delivered him a broken nose.
Right in the face.
Yeah. Yeah, it was too much. Right. I mean, delivery drivers are overworked, right? They have a lot of drops to do in one day. They have to do it very fast. Yeah. So he here's broken nose, like threw it at him, and it smashed him in the face, and ironically broke his nose.
Or, he forgot to get out of the van. Just ran him over.
Just drove straight over him. So, if this were the case, one could hardly blame him. It was, after all, his horse. Lord Bruff. What? If this were the case, like if Lord Bruff delivered the jockey a broken nose, you can hardly blame Lord Bruff because he owns the horse that his daughter's having an affair with, so he might as well go and beat up the jockey. That makes perfect sense to me. Is that what's being said there?
I doubt it, but let's go with that, yeah.
Naturally, nobody had seen a trace of Miss Darling since then, and I was realising now why she had been dressed in white. I read about a study in the fashion section of the Times concerning colours and our reactions to them, which had suggested to the ladies that should they wish attention to be on their face, never to wear white at a red carpet event. Apparently, the human eye is too busy having a conflab with the brain about how incredibly blindingly white the white is to pay attention to anything else. So she's wearing white, so no one recognises her. This is this is this guy's theory.
This is his theory, yeah.
The theory goes that a person is so busy thinking, crikey, what a lot of white, so very white, who on earth would be wearing that they neglect to look to see who it is indeed wearing the offending white. And by the time one considers the possibility, the subject in question will, of course, have moved on.
I wonder if that's true.
I'm going to go with no.
Is the first thing you do when you see someone wearing white go like, oh, look at that white, and you don't look at their face? Whereas normally what you do when you see a person is look at their face. Is that true? Let us know in a postcard.
Let us on a postcard, please.
In the comments, up down here above.
We'll put it in comments for us. I mean, if it were true that someone wearing white, like no one looks at their face, I reckon that would cause a lot of people accidentally getting married to the wrong person. Like, do you take this woman over here dressed in white? Oh, she is very dressed in white, isn't she? Do you take her to be your wife? Yes, I do. Oh, hang on, let me look at her face. I've never seen her before in my life. Oh, dear.
You're married.
Mixed up the brides again, because no one was looking at their
now
face.
kiss this gorilla in a white dress.
So I had even done it myself. Of course, my game of White Rabbit is less concerned with faces than clothing. But it was not until I was seated here in the bar that I had finally come to study the face of this sprightly young filly. And I suspect, for now, I shall have to trust the word of Tabitha Bone, the fashion editor of the Times.
Yes.
So what he's saying is he saw this woman
Yes.
in like London somewhere, like in Marylebone, I think it was. And he was so immediately taken with her that he wanted to follow her to France, right? Got in a taxi, followed her onto the ferry, went on the top deck, found her in the bar, sat and stared at her, and only then did he go, oh, I think I'll look at her face. Oh, she's quite pretty as well.
Well, I mean, when you're following people, Rufus, I don't know if you know this, but like usually they're not walking backwards.
I've never done it. Actually, I don't know that. That's a big surprise to me because I don't follow people around like some kind of weirdo.
Oh, God.
Miss Darling read the note. That's the one that
The porter brought Miss Darling a note.
Miss Darling read the note, and then, quickly downing the drink she had previously seemed reluctant to put inside her, she quickly departed. I gave it a second, and then I followed at a distance.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Just me following her around a boat.
Yeah.
Certain places are very easy for a game of White Rabbit. I had never played on a ferry before, and when one is uncertain of the territory, it's best to err on the side of caution, which in this instance was port side. That's a joke as well, right? Mm-hmm. One can be too cautious, however, and I lost her for approximately 15 minutes, or 1 minute, depending on whether one should listen to their watch or internal clock. So he lost her for a minute, but it felt like 15 minutes, is what he's saying, right?
I don't know. No, I think he's confused. He's like he looked at his watch and went, oh shit, I lost it for 15 minutes. Then he was like, I don't agree, I don't like this. I don't like this.
I feel like it was 1 minute.
Yeah, let's go with
Yeah,
one.
okay, all right,
even
fair
though my watch says 15, I don't agree.
Yes, depending on whether you trust your actual watch or just making things up in your head. It was either 15 minutes or no minutes. And when I caught up with her, she was on the lower deck with the plebs, talking to a burly man in overalls who looked remarkably like what a sack of potatoes might look like if they learned to walk. That's a good line. On the lower deck with the plebs. It was on a ferry a minute ago, but now he's on the Titanic. She spoke briefly with the potato man, and they headed off. Not on the deck, but into the ferry's interior. Well, this certainly was no jockey. I had never seen a horse do the splits, but I reckon with this fellow on its back, it would be a pretty easy feat.
Yeah, this man would squash a horse.
Yeah, well, no, that's not what it says, though. This says, if this man sat on a horse, it would make it easy for the horse to do the splits. So he's got some kind of magic bum that just gives you extra joints in your legs.
Yeah, he's just really talented.
Where, then, were they going on their clandestine walk? Presumably, and I use that word with the sort of reckless abandon that is almost always inevitably wrong, he was taking her to see her jockey. Perhaps the injuries accrued from the cuckolded fists of Bruff had left the tiny chap unable to walk, and so he was holed up in a cabin somewhere, waiting to be reunited with his lanky love. I followed again, but less of a distance now, for fear of losing her again, though it turned out to be an unfounded worry, now that she was accompanied by this chunky, ambling beast. Just as one never sees a tank speeding down the highway, so it was, his top speed was brain dead.
Wow.
His top speed was brain dead, which means that Ace was drinking him.
Yeah.
Can I drink his brain, Professor? Yes, Ace, you certainly can. Look how slow he is. He's getting in my fucking way. Drink his brain, Ace. Thanks, Professor. Little side play for you there.
Lovely.
If I'm being harsh on the man, forgive me. It's perfectly plausible and likely that he was a thoroughly decent type. But with only his image to go on, and a name badge on his overalls which read crap, I fear I have very little to go on. And crap, of course, is spelled Krapp.
Okay.
Like it's a surname rather than just he's got a badge on his work clothes that says crap because he's bad at his job. Like the bosses are really mean. Yeah, you, John, put the mediocre badge on. You did slightly better yesterday, but you're still not very good.
Yeah, because like they have that thing where you have worker of the month, don't you? So maybe they do the opposite. Shittest employee.
All right, John, put the crap badge on. Yeah, that's yours this month. Oh, fucking hell. As we went further, I began to hear the strangest sound, like that of someone having their intimate places tickled. But then, only seconds later, I realized it was rather the sound of a lonesome pooch. So I thought I heard someone having their intimate places tickled, but then it turned out to be a lonely dog. So those two things sound the same to me. Oh, it sounds like someone's being tickled.
Yeah.
Ooh, it sounds like they've got a tickling stick out and they're giving a good old tickle between the thighs. Woof, woof. Well, really going for it now. Oh no, hang on, that's a dog. George Spooner's a pretty amazing flipping story, isn't it, Howard?
Yes. I'm going to say yes.
And you told me that you wrote this when we were first starting to write Gret Binchleaf.
That's correct. Yes.
Since when we have written 11 books
OMG.
of Gret Binchleaf. And we're just starting, in The Secret Gang, we are just starting book 12. And if you want to know what it's called, what it's about, then why not come and join the gang for as little as $7 and get your hand on an enormous amount of Gret Binchleaf immediately, including several of those books, like the whole books, and all those upcoming chapters of the new book.
Do you know what? You could even be in this one we've just started writing if you stick us, 300 nicker in one go.
Quite a large amount of money. I wouldn't say go straight for that, but
I would.
Like join at a lower tier.
No.
And if you discover that you love us and you're rich and you want to be in a Gret Binchleaf book, then that's an option you have. Anyway, go to patreon.com/manbycow and see just what you could get your hands on for as little as $2 or $7, or if you want every Binchleaf thing we've ever written, all it takes is a quick payment of $12 and you immediately get all of it.
Lovely, lovely.
All right, let's get back to George Spooner and almost as good as Gret Binchleaf adventure. We were heading towards animal steerage, and against my better judgment, I couldn't help certain thoughts pop into my predictable head. But I beat them down for the moment with the one brain cell I reserve for sober sagacity. Is that how you pronounce that word? Sagacity. Yes. It is, right?
Yes, it is.
However, soon I was to learn that my castles in the air were built on some remarkably solid clouds.
Wow.
It's a nice metaphor as well. Crap the Potato Head led Mary to a large cage.
That character gets better at each mention.
He really does, yeah. Crap the Potato-Headed Potato Man, next time. Crap Lee Crappington, the potato-headed, potato-legged potato man from Potato World, led Mary to a large cage containing a bit on the side and left her there. That's the name of the horse, right?
That's right.
I hid behind a crate of chickens until he was gone, and then peeked over to spy on my rabbit. There's a lot of animals now. There's a horse, some chickens, and my rabbit. Miss Mary Darling Evesham gazed longingly at her horse. So it's turning out that she really was having an affair with a horse, right? That's what this book's going to be about. No, it's not only about stalking, it's also about having a sex with a horse. Is that what I've got to look forward to?
I mean, wasn't the title George and the Woman Who Loved a Horse? Wasn't that the name of the book? I mean, what were you expecting when you started reading a book called George Spooner and the Woman Who Loved a Horse?
Miss Mary Darling Evesham gazed longingly at her horse. She whispered sweet nothings in its ear, and, if I hadn't of known better.
Yes, correct. This is the correct form. Hadn't of.
No, it's just if that of is because it's not correct if you say have either. If I hadn't have known better, that is also wrong, right? It's if I hadn't known better. There's no need for that extra word. And if I hadn't known better, the horse seemed to nod at her every time she said something. I decided to edge closer to try and hear what kind of things a young woman says to a horse these days.
I like that line. That's my favourite line so far.
Yeah,
These days.
It's pretty good, yeah. I know what they used to say in the past, but, people change. Young people today are very strange. And let's face it, she is young and I'm not.
Yeah.
Different generation. I wonder what the kids are saying to horses. Not giddy up anymore. It's let's go to bed.
Oh, what if my father catches us a bit on the side?
Darling, it won't be long now, and then we can be together again. I promise.
The sweet child muttered.
Oh, darling, I love you so much, my love,
she said, and puckered her lips through the gap in the cage and gave the horse a kiss on its nose.
Oh, how sweet.
I had previously been very much a naysayer in the camp that suggested Mary Darling was involved intimately with a horse, but this was one woman and one horse who were decidedly not saying nay. At this point, I sent a cage of kittens crashing to the ground, startling Mary and causing a cacophony of sound from the various gathered creatures of the ark.
Oh, George!
Knocked over a cage of kittens. This is a kind of particularly a movie trope, right? That you hiding, knock something over, but it never happens with a cage of kittens, and I think that is a good twist on that idea. Okay, you're using a familiar trope, but you've made it a cage of kittens. That is original and worthwhile.
Hooray!
Come out where I can see you, said Mary, and I obliged her, not wishing to frighten her nor come across any more foolish than I already felt.
I've been following you since Marylebone. I'm drunk.
It turns out I speak quite differently to how I think.
Yeah, I mean, we do, don't we, though? Because, when I think in my head, I sound quite
super intelligent,
erudite, intelligent, and I have a really posh accent. But then when I speak, I'm like, hang on, hey, me, I've been following you since Marylebone, and you just thought, because you're wearing white clothes. I looked at your face, but then I looked at your face and thought, oh, a lovely face.
Nice, lovely. Oh, I bet your small nose would make my penis look big.
Yeah.
Oops-a-daisy, I said, nodding my head at the spilt milk lovers.
Oh, it's you, she said, with a note of annoyance. I could see now that she had been crying. I suppose you work for my father.
What? No, not one bit, I replied. Never met the man. At this, her eyes widened and she looked a little more unsure of herself. Her shoulders raised, and I realised she was suddenly a little scared of me.
Then why have you been following me all the way from London?
Ah, he is shit at it.
Oh, he is terrible at it. Because he's a fucking weird, terrifying guy who's following her.
Yeah.
Getting a taxi to follow her. Walking around the boat after her.
Wait a second. The thing is, he's spent a lot of time describing what other people are wearing, but he's neglected to mention that he's wearing a sombrero and bells on his
clothes.
Shoes. Yeah.
He's dressed as a clown.
Yes.
He's dressed as a scary clown. And what she's been doing is running away. Actually, the reason she got on this boat was just to escape him. She's not this woman he thinks she is. She's not been having a conversation with a horse. What she was doing was hiding in the animal steerage behind a horse.
Yeah, on her mobile phone saying, I just need to escape this crazy clown.
Yeah.
Then why have you been following me all the way from London?
No, it's... I stuttered. It's a game. Nothing sordid. Please, my name is George Spooner. I have too much time on my hands. Let me buy you a drink and I'll explain.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
no,
nothing you've said has made me feel better about this situation.
Nothing sordid. It's not scary.
It's a game that I call Murdering Young Women. It's just a fun game I like to play. Yeah, no, none of that is reassuring. That has made it so much worse. right? Just say you work for her father. It's like, oh, okay. Oh, you've
Oh,
caught me
wow.
out. Caught me out, I do work for your father. And then leave her alone. She knows you've been following her. Okay, I'll believe that you think it's okay because you think people are unaware. But the moment you find out they not only that they're aware, but have been all the time, that's when you're like, okay, sorry, it wasn't a scary thing. Make something up. Don't say it's a game that I play all the time. This is my life. This is how I live my life. Don't say that because you go to jail. So, yeah, I work for your dad, but I'm sorry, I'll leave you alone. Okay, buy milk. I'm going to jump over the side of the boat now. It's the least I can do. I'm going to drown myself. It is the least I can do to make you feel better. Come and watch.
Your clever response to this, Rufus, makes it sound like this is something that you've actually done before, and like you've been following people, and when they've caught you, you've been like, oh yeah, I do work for your dad. Go now, bye.
Well, I mean, remember when we were kids and we used to play White Rabbit, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Well, and you remember how we grew up and like kind of carried on with it.
Carried on with it.
There was one time when I got on a boat to France, and then there was this woman having sex with a horse. It was weird.
Ooh, yeah.
No, he says, let me buy you a drink and I'll explain. And we'll have a chat. And you'll quiz me about all of this. She pointed at the horse. Yeah, that's the thing to worry about with your terrifying stalker who you're in a room. The only things that can save you in this room are a load of animals and they're in cages. And you'll quiz me about all of this. She pointed at the horse. Well, no thank you, she said, and stopping briefly to whisper in the horse's ear, she strode off. Oh, come along, I said, and made to follow her.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
No, you will have a drink with me. How dare you?
He's so bad. He is so bad. Oh, come along, I said, and made to follow her, whereupon she spun back around and issued me with a warning. If you continue to follow me, I shall report you to security. Don't wait. To go and tell them this guy apparently followed me from London to Dover and then got on a ferry to France. He is definitely going to murder me. Could you arrest him or throw him overboard for me, please?
Oh,
Because
I'm
really scared.
Come on, Mary. I'm a nice guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't friend zone me. Fucking hell, George. So she says, if you continue to follow me, I shall report you to security. Follow you? Good Lord, no. Whatever gave you that idea? Yeah, good question, George. So I wonder if you can work that one out for yourself. Now, if you go into your mind palace and start doing some deductive reasoning, I wonder if you can figure that one out.
Oh, my God.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Worst Writer in the World. If you want more, go to patreon.com/manbycow and get it. Bye milk.
Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in